back to Waiting in Laodicea. I'm your host, A.T. Martinez, and today we're going to continue in our ongoing movement through the 14th chapter of Book of Revelations. Today we'll be starting up
Revelation 14 starting in verse 8. Reading from the New King James Version. And another angel followed, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she has made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Then a third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If anyone worships the beast and his image, and receives his mark on his forehead or on his hand, he himself shall also drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out full strength into the cup of his indignation. He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascends forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints, here are those who keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. Then I heard a voice from heaven saying to me, Write, Blessed are the dead who die in the Lord from now on. Yes, says the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works follow them.
Okay, now kind of a short section there. We've got a few verses. The first section is extremely short. It's the fall of Babylon foretold. Now remember, these are being predicted as of, first off, 2,000 years ago, but again, as the timeline continues, this means that this is not a chronological order. There's been predictions put in prior to the actual events. So let's look at this event. It's the fall of Babylon. Now, Babylon is known as the Great Harlot, and she has made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornications. Now, in ancient times, Babylon was a great city. It was the home of the capital of the Babylonian Empire. The city of Babylon actually would rest in the nation of Iraq. And what Babylon means in the book of Revelations, there are two main schools of thought. I'm sure there's others, but the two main ones. One is Babylon is talking about a specific city, but that city may not be the historical Babylon. It may be another city that has raised itself up to that level of iniquity. Or the second thought is it is talking about a reborn Babylon, capital city of the Antichrist kingdom. Which is it? I don't know. Either way, there's reasons to support both views. During Saddam Hussein's rule of Iraq, he launched a program to start rebuilding the city of Babylon. The excavations in the historical site, which was basically all ruins, has slowly been they're cleaning it up. Now, this could just be to preserve the historical nature of the city, or it could be as a precursor to that city being used as the new capital of Iraq. We don't know this yet. The other option, as I stated, was this could be a different city that raises itself in the level of iniquity. If that's the case, then there have been two main cities that have been mentioned as possibles. Now, I'm sure there's other possibilities, but the two that I've heard about is number one, Hollywood, Los Angeles. The other one is New York. Now, there are a number of descriptions of Babylon, and when you read Babylon's descriptions in the Bible, you find out, number one, it's got a deep water port. So that eliminates a lot of cities right there. But Los Angeles does, and so does New York. But so does the city of Babylon. The point here is if it is not the actual city of Babylon, then there is maybe a chance the U.S. is still around and a minor player in the end of times. I don't positively know. It doesn't change the end results, and it doesn't really improve the life life chances for Christians in the United States. So I'm not going to base my plans and predictions off this. If it is Babylon, if the city of Babylon is either New York or Hollywood, well, they've earned it. We have definitely done our best to get all nations to drink of our fornications. Hollywood is the king or queen, how you would say, I don't know. But let's put it this way: Hollywood don't put out anything but fornications anymore. It's a shame that when I was a kid, certain words were not allowed to be used, certain acts were not allowed to be filmed. Some of our modern movies go so close to pornography, it's mind-boggling. All because Hollywood has given up on Christianity. It's gotten so bad in Hollywood that, number one, actors are afraid to state their own opinions. Number two, we have an entire new channel dedicated only to Christian sources, Christian movies, Christian television. Why? Because Hollywood itself, the mainstream Hollywood, won't run them, won't play them, won't make them. Disney has been reported that they refuse to do any non-woke productions. Everything has got to have their social agenda in it. Now, I'm going to pause a second and explain something. Am I against gays and lesbians? No. I pray for them as much as I pray for everybody else. Why? Because they're all God's creatures. The difference is I'm not going to promote their lifestyle because I do believe their lifestyle is wrong. But then I'm not going to promote the idea of going out and cheating on your wife or anything like that. I'm not going to hold your lifestyle against you. I'm going to pray for you. But that doesn't mean I have to support it. Hollywood, on the other hand, wants everyone to support it. Furthermore, Hollywood goes into in supporting the idea of the transgenderism, where you can pick and choose your gender, pick and choose pretty much anything you want. And that's not right. The idea that everybody has to agree with it, and that's what Hollywood is preaching, that's not right either. Because what you're basically saying is the beliefs of one group of people, is more important than the beliefs of everybody else. Why? Because everybody else has to give up their beliefs to make this first group happy. You can't sit there and feel that they're wrong without being called a bigot. Now, granted, some people that do think they're wrong are bigots. I don't have to agree with your lifestyle. You don't have to agree with mine. The end result is during the end of times, one of us will be supported by the government and the other will not. Guess what? I'm not the one that's going to be supported. I know this, but I'd rather have the government against me in the end of times than have God against me in the end of times. So Babylon falls, one verse that carries so much impact, because the number one defiler of the world, the source of all this iniquity, is gone. Does this mean the world is instantly transformed into a better place? Oh no. Because then we're going to go on and we see that what happens to anybody who takes the number of the beast. Now remember, we've already heard that they were putting it out on the foreheads and hands of the people that worshipped the graven image, that worshipped the beast, and followed the teachings of the false prophet. And what happens to them? If anyone worships the beast and his image and receives his mark on his forehead or his hand, He himself shall also drink of the wine of the wrath of God. Ooh, not a good thing. Which is poured out full strength into the cup of his indignation. God is mad. This person shall be tormented with the fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascends forever and ever, and they have no rest or night. No rest day or night. Who worship the beast and in his image, and whoever receives the mark in his name. Then we get a little interlude that basically says the saints have been waiting. The saints have waited, and blessed are those that die during the tribulation in God's name. Okay, so if you get the mark of the beast, bottom line, it's over. There's no coming back from that one. There's no reset. There's no get out of jail free card. You've made your choice. And trust me, it will be an informed choice. You will know what you're doing is wrong. If you don't know it now, you will then. You will know you're turning your back intentionally on God. And God will judge you. And his judgment is going to be painful. So this is chapter 14, all the way up until verse 14 now. We will now go ahead and our next episode will be our final interlude, which is the vision of Armageddon. And then we will finally get to the bowls and the setup for the bowls. But till then, you need to look at yourself. Are you following the Babylon? Are you allowing that harlot to influence you? It's easy to do. She's everywhere. She's on most television. Most television shows are made by the harlot. Most movies are made by the harlot. And by most, I mean the vast majority. If you allow iniquity into your life and you bathe in this by watching it day in and day out, you will have problems. If you do not recognize the iniquity of what's there and where it is just horrendous, then that iniquity can influence you. And that influence puts you as a follower of Babylon. Now, I know that's not an official phrase. There's nothing in the Bible that says, "Oh, ye followers of Babylon." Nope. That's a phrase I just came up with. But remember what happens to the great harlot. She gets torched. So, think about it. Hope you've enjoyed today's show. If you have, please hit that like button, hit that share button. Share it with your friends, your enemies, your best friends, your family, and subscribe. And get them all to subscribe. This is the most cost-effective way of supporting this ministry. All you got to do is click some buttons. It doesn't cost you a dime. And unlike when Barack Obama said this will not raise something a single dime, this doesn't cost you a dime. It can't. Because you're not putting no money in. Will this help? Yes, it does. Now, if by some chance you'd like to support this ministry even further, you can, of course. You can look in the comment section, right before the comment section, and you'll see different methods to donate to this ministry. You can donate through this channel on this platform, whether this is on YouTube or on BitChute or on whatever channels we end up going to also. Or you can go to the website, which is www.waitinginlaodicea.weebly.com. See if there's any other methods mentioned. And last but not least, you can always email me. If you want to help out and you just don't know how, email me. I can be reached at waitinginlaodicea@gmail.com, and I hope to hear from you.